This isn't our agenda on here. Good evening. I'd like to call it's May 25th Temecula Public Traffic Safety Commission meeting to order. To begin, we'll start with the flag salute by Commissioner Sullivan.
If you'll please stand, face the flags, put your right hand on your heart, and repeat with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll.
Commissioner Ackerman,
Here.
Carter,
Here.
Maddox,
Here.
Richardson,
Here.
and Sullivan.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Huh, geez, where'd they all go? Okay. The consent calendar, let's see, there's nothing there other than approve the action minutes of last meeting, April 27th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we can get a roll.
Commissioner Ackerman,
Abstain.
Carter,
Aye.
Maddox,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
and Sullivan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right on to the business, we'll go to the Wolf Creek Drive North and Redwood and Alpine Place stop control analysis.
Thank you,
Just
Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me one second, just a point of information. Do I need to abstain on this topic because I'm president of Wolf Creek, or? I don't.
He needs to go wait out in the car.
That's fine. I'll wait out at a restaurant in Old Town.
You know, in this situation, it's, the rule is typically if your home is within 500 feet of the project, then you would need to abstain. As far as your role on the HOA board, I don't believe that would cause a conflict.
All right, I
But I'm
just
not
wanna make-
100% sure about that.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This presentation is in regards to an all-way stop controls analysis on Wolf Creek Drive North and Redwood/Alpine Place. In the past, staff has received resident concerns regarding excessive speeding and lack of pedestrian crossing on Wolf Creek North and Redwood Road, Alpine Place, specifically this intersection we're studying. Based on these requests, staff reviewed the intersection and determined that an all-way stop should be considered at this location. And you can see on this map, the intersection in question is located in a spot right next to a park and next to Luis Senio Elementary School and Early Stanley Gardner Middle School. Some backgrounds on the roads. Wolf Creek Drive is a 30-mile residential collector roadway. Redwood is a 30-mile-an-hour residential roadway, and Alpine Place is a 25 local residential. The 85th percentile on Wolf Creek Drive is around 38 miles per hour. So speeds are fairly high there in that type of a neighborhood. There's Class 2 bike lanes on that road as well. ADT is about 5,000, and Redwood has an ADT of about 1,100. During field visits to the intersection, staff noticed a lack of convenient and safe pedestrian crossing for an area located near the schools and the park. Based on this, we determined that the all-way really could be a suitable location here, the all-way stop. To determine if an all-way stop was justified, we performed a stop controls analysis. As part of the stop controls analysis, we reviewed data, traffic volume data, collision history, sight distance, and then completed an overall multi-way stop analysis for the intersection. We used our program at the city, the streetlight data, to collect entering volume over a 3-month period, and we used to gather the data to run the multi-way stop volume analysis. A lot of that data we just went through on describing the roadways at the beginning of this presentation. And in reviewing the collision history, there's been 1 accident in the past 3 years there. We performed a sight distance at this intersection, and there is actually no sight distance issue at this problem. It's pretty clear. So there's no real issue there. One of them on Alpine Place, as you look west along Wolf Creek, it's a little low. The sight distance is 265, but if someone is going on a faster speed, that sight distance could be pretty low, and it's tough to negotiate that turn. So when we ran our whole analysis, the data alone didn't meet the warrants for an all-way stop, but we studied other roadway characteristics, including the amount of traffic on the uncontrolled streets. Other criteria is the location of the intersection to suggested route to school. Vehicle ped conflicts at the schools, parks, and activity centers. We went out there 2 to 3 times, and every time we were there, we noticed close calls with school-age children crossing that road, playing on their phone, not even just stepping out into traffic, crossing kitty corner. It was just not necessarily a good situation for pedestrians. There's also no controlled crosswalk within 600 feet of this location, and we felt that a multi-way stop installation here is actually compatible with the traffic circulation of this residential area. This slide shows just the general location, what I called out earlier, the 2 schools and the park, and then it links the 2 neighborhoods on Redwood and Alpine. For these reasons that we mentioned before, about the lack of a close control crosswalk, the closest one is about 900 feet away, the residential nature of the roadway, and the fact that it's a suggested school route, we feel that an all-way stop should be considered here. This slide shows what the potential all-way stop would look like. We'd install crosswalks here as well. And with that, staff's recommendation staff's recommendation for the commission is to recommend the city council to adopt a resolution establishing multi-way stop controls at the intersection of Wolf Creek Drive North and Redwood Road, Alpine Place. And we also recommend to implement striped pedestrian crosswalks at the intersection as well. And with that, that concludes the presentation on this subject.
Thank you. Questions?
More of a statement, just when I became aware of this, I posted it. Wolf Creek has 3 Facebook sites that are administered by, or administrated by owners. And I posted it, there was between 15 and 30 responses, not one negative. So everybody thought this was a proactive step to prevent a problem. And did you want this in 1 or 2 motions?
Just one.
Just one?
I just had a question kind of for Commissioner Sullivan or anyone else that has it. In your experience living over there, is this road used as a bypass for Pechanga Parkway a lot? It looks to me on the map like it would be, which might contribute to the higher speeds on it.
Yeah, and even the 38-mile-per-hour speed limit surprised me because a lot of those cars are going through there when school's not in session and traffic is limiting. They're doing 50. I mean, they fly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think this one's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Yeah, I spoke to a few of Commissioner Sullivan's neighbors, and they pretty much corroborated what you saw on the Facebook groups there. I think, I know the primary function of the stop sign is not to calm traffic in there, but I don't think anyone would have any heartbreak over that as a secondary effect. So, yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense.
So I'd be happy to, or do you, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
just a quick comment. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's on the route to school plan. The first thing you look is you say, obviously, people are going to drive this to schools. I do also see a fire department on the map, but it seemed they would have other paths to get where they need to go. So not an issue here. Agreed?
Yep.
Yeah, good work.
Thanks.
So I'd be happy to move a motion recommending the council adopt a resolution establishing multi-way stop controls at the intersection of Wolf Creek Drive North and Redwood Road, Alpine Place, along with implementation of striped pedestrian crosswalks at the same intersection.
Before we go on to the motion, I got one question.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I know you gotta go. The posted speed limit is 30. The percentile is 36 to 39. Because of the area, the school and everything like that, does the traffic survey, I mean, is there a 5-mile variance? And then if it is, we're 6 to 9 over. Is there gonna be a reevaluation of that?
Anytime we change a corridor like this, we will reevaluate the corridor. Putting in a stop sign is most likely gonna
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
keep it at 30. I don't think we'd, hopefully it doesn't go to 25. I don't
Right.
think it's a 25
Now-
mile road.
And we can monitor down the road after the stop sign, everything's in it, that we can just take a peek at it to see if it's, before Brad comes back to us and complains again.
Absolutely.
Okay, great, thank you. We've heard a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Commissioner Ackerman,
Aye.
Carter,
Aye.
Maddox,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
and Sullivan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now let's see, Rustic Glen traffic calming.
Correct. This presentation is in regards to traffic calming for Rustic Glen Drive. In April of this year, staff received a complaint regarding excessive speeding on Rustic Glen Drive. This is between Margarita and Winchester Road. The resident wanted the city to consider speed bumps as a traffic calming measure. As we know, we don't do speed bumps in the city, so we decided to let's study this corridor and see what other measures we can potentially implement here. Most of you guys were here around January of 2021, where this was actually brought up to the commission. The recommendation at that time was to provide educational brochures to residents regarding safety and awareness of the roadway, and also to staff to continue to monitor the roadway for speeds and volumes. So in our review of the corridor, we performed traffic counts and speed data analysis using the streetlight data, and we also put up our armadillo to gather data. All the data was showing is the speeds weren't too excessive. There are people that will get pretty high up in speed over there, especially because it's a downgrade road going towards Winchester. The westbound 85th percentile was 30 miles per hour, and the eastbound was 32. Due to the sporadic excessive speed and the kind of curvilinear nature of the road with the elevation difference, we recommend installing radar speed signs just to give motorists a heads up on their speeds over there. It's a fairly popular road. People are, I don't want to call it a full-on cut-through, but people are using it to kind of get by the intersection of Winchester and Margarita. So we think posting the VCALM signs is a good warning for the motorist. Oops. And with that, we recommend that Public Traffic Safety Commission approve the installation of VCALM speed advisory signs on Rustic Glen Drive. And I want to go back to this slide. Here's the location where we're potentially thinking about it. It'll be on some street light posts, but we'll have to go out there and verify that is ultimately the best spot.
All right. Okay, great, thanks. Questions?
Yeah, just, am I correct in interpreting the signs will be on the uphill sides? Are our speeds problems mostly once we crest and are going downhill?
That's why we have to kind of go back out there to figure out which poles. There's not that many poles. I prefer it going down on the downslope.
Yeah.
So the one that's on the north side there is the one I'm iffy on, since that one's coming uphill. So we may have to adjust that.
Yeah, I guess if, is it possible to, if there's not a pole already there, to put something in to hold the sign? I mean, I'd rather have the sign be in the optimal place for the effect rather than put it where it's convenient and has no effect.
Absolutely. So we will look to do that. One other thing to consider here is we are trying to place these near the homes of where you have these fronting driveways. On the west side of this road is where there's a bunch of homes that have fronting driveways. As you go towards the east, there are no homes with the fronting driveway. Mm-hmm. So kind of want to slow people down before they get to the homes with all the driveways in front. So we have to go out there and really fine tune that location, but we'll definitely put it in the most correct spot.
All right.
JR shared my question.
Oh, okay.
Just
Question? Comments?
Yeah, I looked at my notes from the last time we looked at this, and I believe at the time, school wasn't in session, so our data may look different now. I did make a point to go out there during the school pickup times and noticed a lot more cars parked on the street, especially towards the east side on that downhill, a lot more pedestrian movement. So if, the VCOM signs do end up on that side, I just want to be mindful that we post them at a height where they'll be visible at all times of day. I know the MUTCD gives us some flexibility in the height of those. Yeah, depending on where they're located, I just want to keep that in mind.
That's why we try to take advantage of streetlight poles, because we can get them higher. When we just put them on the little Telspar post, they're definitely lower, and so we always look for the streetlights first.
Just real quick, did you guys evaluate the collision history there? I know it's not a stop warrant analysis, but do you know if there were many collisions in the area?
I believe based on we didn't look at it for this study, but on the previous one, I believe it was looked at, and I don't think there was one accident there.
Okay.
From my recollection.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? I'll take a motion to forward to City Council for action for approval.
Actually, this installation of VCOM signs is something the commission can vote and will install those based on your
Oh.
vote. So
Well,
we don't
heck,
have to
just
take
get
that
it
to
done
council.
then. Yeah. All right.
So you don't need a motion on that then, or you do? Okay. So
Okay.
I'll move that the Traffic Safety Commission approve the installation of VCOM speed advisory signs on Rustic Glen Drive with the statements and concerns as addressed by the commission.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the roll.
Commissioner Ackerman,
Aye.
Carter,
Aye.
Maddox,
Aye.
Richardson,
Aye.
and Sullivan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Division reports, the Highway Patrol. And then right after the Highway Patrol, the PD, because they're not on the, you want to take the fire spot there? No, okay.
Good evening, thank you for having me again. So services provided, we had 21 child safety seats installed, 9 community events, traffic safety booths, and 6 traffic safety presentations. As far as enforcement activity, still fairly standard from where we've been, but 804 citations, 1,610 total enforcement contacts. We had a distracted driver campaign, only 26 total citations, but we are working to improve that. We'll get a better number, and we have a Memorial Day coming up on Monday. This weekend we have it's specific towards seatbelt enforcement, and I promise you we'll have better numbers on that. And just to kind of educate everyone, they're calling it an all hands on deck. So everyone in the Highway Patrol that's not already on vacation or a scheduled day off will be working, myself included, on Monday. My lieutenants, so we'll be out there on the road. So we should have some good numbers to report you for Memorial Day. We did have a street racing detail. Cars and Coffee has been a group we've been having an eye on as they come into town. Did get 27 citations out of that event and 1 impound, but most were driving well behaved this time. There were some in Oceanside as well. I wasn't able to get those numbers, but we did get some there as well. As far as DUI, to me, one of the most encouraging number I've had since I've been here for almost 3 years now is 50 DUI arrests for the month. I'm very happy with that. We had some new officers on graveyards as well as a new sergeant on graveyards, and we're going to try and keep that number up. And again, very encouraged with also the number of only 8 of those DUI arrests were out of crashes, so very, very happy with that. Traffic collisions actually down overall. Normally we average about 150 total collisions a month. We had 57 non-injury, 43 injury. We had 0 fatal accidents in April, 5 year to date. Unfortunately, May has not been so kind to us with fatal accidents, so it won't be as good last month, but at least 0 for April. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Do we have issues with sideshows? Have you had any issues?
I wouldn't say issues like LA has or like, Oakland has had. I mean, you can go around to most intersections around, and we do have them. We had it, probably about a year and a half ago. Anza and Kimisal was having issues there, specifically in that neighborhood. We had a meeting with the community there. It was actually nice. They have the houses there, if you're not familiar, have long driveways that sit elevated. So we'd have our patrol cars parked up on the elevated, and we'd watch them do their thing, and then we'd swoop down and pick them off. So we did that for a little while, and they've gone away. So it's something we do monitor for, looking through social media and trying to find out the clubs before they come out. But we were finding it was mostly high school kids, not really organized clubs. It was just people going out being knuckleheads.
Yeah, cool, thank you. Okay, next, Police Department.
Good evening, Deputy Ryan Rennick. April City of Temecula traffic statistics. We issued 1,169 hazardous citations, 163 non-hazardous citations. 264 of those were for cell phones, and 178 parking citations. We had a total of 1,861 written citations in April. 26 of those were commercial enforcement citations by Deputy Grip. Collisions, traffic collisions, we had 14 non-injury collisions, 27 injury collisions, whether it's minor or major. I think only a couple of those, maybe one or two were considered more than minor injuries. 10 hit-and-run collisions, 0 fatal collisions, 0 pedestrian-related collisions, with a total of 51 collisions for April. In April, we had 33 DUI arrests. We had 1 checkpoint that yielded 2 DUI arrests. 215 vehicles were contacted in that checkpoint. We had 1 Know Your Limit campaign, 3 traffic enforcement operations. I think one of them was a motorcycle operation, and one was a distracted driving operation. And we had 1 DUI saturation operation in April.
Busy.
Yeah. Oh, and also we have our entire motor team, if whoever's on that day, we have been going to each of the schools throughout the district. I know some of you have noticed we've been saturating the 1 school per day with the entire motor team, whoever's working that day. Usually there's 5 or 6 of us on, and we saturate the school during drop-off and then pickup. And it's been received fairly well, I think. Yeah. All the parents appreciate us being out there. We started that in April, and I think we're about halfway through the district at this point. And we're going to continue through this month.
Outstanding, thanks. Okay, director report. Or, I'm sorry, engineer's report. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you can
But you're the
combine those
director
two,
too,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've got a couple of things I wanted to cover with the commission. One, on the city council agenda for this past Tuesday was an item to reconstitute and adopt a new resolution for each of the city's commissions. So for the Public Traffic Safety Commission, and I included the resolution for you here this evening, but the new resolution was adopted. They made the resolution forming all of the 3 commissions, the Planning Commission, Community Services, and Public Traffic Safety, to be consistent essentially in terms of the way the resolutions were set up. And then the other fairly significant change for the Public Traffic Safety Commission is the reference to public was removed. And so the commission was kind of rebranded as just Traffic Safety Commission. And so, and then the reference to public safety being police and fire service and operations was removed basically out of the roles and responsibilities. So the focus of the commission would just be on traffic safety, and that's how this resolution was set up and approved by the city council. Now, we will still be having involvement with the sheriff's department and Highway Patrol and the Fire Department as they are heavily involved in traffic safety and enforcement, so they'll definitely still be involved. But this is the new resolution that was passed for the roles and responsibilities of the commission. Just wanted to let you know that. Another item that was on the council agenda Tuesday night was approval of the plans and authorized bidding for what's called the I-15 Congestion Relief and Auxiliary Lane Project. And that's a project where the city is going to be bidding and managing the construction of adding an auxiliary lane to northbound I-15 between Temecula Parkway and Rancho California Road. So we'll be adding that continuation, basically, of the on-ramp at Temecula Parkway. That'll then extend all the way to the off-ramp for Rancho Cal. It involves widening the road underneath the Santiago Bridge, so there'll be a tieback wall that's constructed there to be able to continue that lane through there. So we'll be bidding that and starting construction on that later this year. So happy to move forward with that, and that'll be done kind of in conjunction with the I-15 French Valley Phase 2 project, which is currently under construction at the north end, north of Winchester, and that'll be going on for basically the next 2 years. So there will be a lot of work going on the I-15 corridor, northbound direction over the next couple of years, and we're hoping that that's going to address the congestion problem that we have that backs up every day going north on the freeway. So that's moving forward.
Just a question on that, realizing the congestion that's already out there, will a lot of the work be done at different hours of the evening versus daytime?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning here and the first portion of the French Valley Phase 2 project, they have been working close to the shoulder of the road, and they've been doing some lane closures, but only at night. And that's what we'll continue to do during that project is keep those at nighttime only.
Okay, thank you.
So those are moving forward. And then lastly, so just this morning, we had the special city council meeting where we presented the city's both capital and operating budget for next year and our 5-year capital budget. And it was well received. So the city council, I think, was pleased with the plan that we have for next year and for the future years. Got a very large capital program. It's over $100 million again for the 5-year program. And out of that, it's almost $300 million that we have planned for projects over the next 2 years. So we've got a lot of work underway, and a lot of it has to do with circulation projects and improving our flow of traffic throughout the city. So, and a couple of big projects. I know we talked about this last time, but a couple of the big projects, new projects, are the ones that are funded through the HSIP grant that Nick was successful in applying for and receiving this latest round too. So that'll go a long ways towards getting all of our traffic signal systems up to speed and new equipment and working the way we'd like to have them work.
Yeah, nice.
So those are the happenings. And then the budget today was the workshop. It was a public meeting, and that will then be presented as a public hearing at the city council meeting on June 13th. So that's what's happening on the budget front.
Very good. Thank you, Pat. Directors, let's see, commissioner reports. Eric? No? Dave?
Yeah, last Monday, we had the inaugural meeting of the Temecula Active Transportation Community Advisory Panel. It's a brand-new group put together by Matt Peters from the city and Gary Oddie of the Community Services Commission. As you can probably tell from the name, really the purpose of the panel is to solicit community input on hiking, biking, walking, riding, skating, everything that falls under that umbrella of active transportation. At the first meeting, we talked about how active transportation is addressed in the various city planning documents. We also were joined by Ron and Nick and given a presentation on some of the work that's being done on the south end of Old Town, some of the challenges that we are facing there, trying to develop new trail connections, also some of the opportunities that we're looking forward to with the Altair development and the Western Bypass Bridge. So all in all, I think everybody came away from the meeting feeling pretty positive about the work that the city's been doing in this space and excited to sort of build on that. And I plan on reporting back to our commission with any updates periodically when there's more news to share on that in the future. But that's all I have to report for today.
Thank you. Commissioner Sullivan?
Just a question for Patrick. Any update on lighting on the Temecula Creek Trail there in Wolf Creek?
That project is underway. I know we've got one of our project engineers working on it. My understanding is with the input from the HOA, we've selected a light fixture we're going with. It's a solar-powered light fixture. And I don't have a specific date, but I know we're moving forward with finalizing plans, and then we'll be soliciting bids and going forward. And hopefully that'll be done, hopefully by the end of the calendar year.
All right, a couple things. First of all, with the rescoping of the Public Traffic Safety Commission to just the Traffic Safety Commission, it's no longer in our purview to relentlessly request response times and what's going on there, but I hope someone should, and I hope that happens, because that data is missing not just from this body, but from the city as well. I think we need to know what that is and be making progress in that area. We've heard firsthand on this panel that response times are, not the best. So I just want to be on the record that while no longer in our jurisdiction to ask, I would like to see the city take that seriously.
Yeah, and the input from the city council was the public safety policies and operations would be under the purview of the council public safety ad hoc subcommittee, and then on to the city council for adoption if there's changes or things that need to be implemented.
So if as part of the transition you can pass along to that body that response times are something we have taken very seriously and inquired about on multiple occasions, I think passing the baton in that manner would be appropriate.
Okay.
The other thing I had was I did want to thank Nick for the Butterfield and Nighthawk timing that was changed out there. Seems to have completely eliminated the problem I was seeing with 20, 30 car backup for that left turn. So good work there, and appreciate the quick response.
Okay. Anything else? No? Well, I guess that means that we have to adjourn until June 22nd.
Carter, if I could just add one thing to
No, we're
about. All right. I mentioned that the installation of the VCOM signs doesn't require city council approval, but that stop sign does. So any new traffic control devices that that are approved through the commission will go on and be approved by the city council.
And that's why I worded it, that we recommend to the city council.
Yes.
Stops, but we directed.
Right. Yeah.
All right, outstanding. Thank you. See everybody on June 22nd.